The Gupta brothers and Sharma have been formally charged in relation to an alleged scam that saw millions being diverted from the Free State Department of Agriculture to Gupta-linked entities. It's been seen as a possible dry run for what will ultimately become the Estina dairy farm scandal. Sharma has been arrested in connection with that scam matter. He's expected in court on Monday. To discuss, we're now joined by the NPA spokesperson, Sindisiwe Seboka. Ms. Seboka, thank you for being with us. What does the order granted today mean exactly?
First and foremost, the order is an unlimited restraint order. A figure has not been attached to how much the investigating directorate working with the NPA's AFU or asset forfeiture unit can actually recoup. What the order also speaks about is assets within South African jurisdiction. We've already seized Johannesburg and Cape Town assets, properties there. However, it also relates to properties owned by island site abroad. So this is very encouraging for the work that we're doing. This particular order relates above and beyond the 25 million criminal case that we brought, that was heard at the Bloemfontein Magistrates Court, where some of the accused appear, some of the 17 accused, which is companies and or persons still which we're still requesting to come back into the country. So the order also extends to a plus minus 500 million that pertains to money that was coming in and out of island site, a company owned by Atul, Gupta, Rajesh, Gupta and their wives, who actually facilitated the moving of those particular monies in and out of the country.
Yeah. So many are welcoming this, talking about the net finally closing in on the Guptas. But a big question is, why has it taken so long? I would suspect a lot of value from companies, maybe not the properties, but it's already been transferred out of the country. Maybe that happened way back anyway. But still, this is 5 years or so after the Gupta leaks.
First and foremost, the investigating directorate under Advocate Herman Grenier's leadership only came into office in mid-2019. So our main focus is to investigate matters pertaining to state capture and matters pertaining to various other commissions as prescribed by the presidential proclamation. So when we took up office, we hit the ground running. So this meant secondments from various law enforcement, which we're indebted to. The Hawks provided a core team, IPID provided a core team, the NPA AFU unit provided a core team, SARS even is in a memorandum of understanding with them, FIC in various roles and various others that I have not mentioned. So this then meant that we had to compare notes about what is it that we have. The ministerial or the minister's amendment of the State Capture Commission proclamation also assisted in this last year. So we had been building as we go. We had to make sure that everything we do find is in line before we then put charges together and bring various people to court. Yeah. What we must also mention is that Advocate Grenier has been saying that we cannot bring half-baked matters before court as though it's a witch hunt. We bring matters after following the financial flows from the various entities and our own investigation.
Yeah. So is this all possible, the restraint order and the request to Interpol, because there is now actually a matter in court naming the Gupta brothers, their wives as well, I think, which means they would have been arrested if they were in South Africa?
Yes. So what we're saying, without getting into too much detail, because we know that this now needs to be discussed between the various jurisdictions, which we know have sovereignty to decide whether or not to extradite people. Some of the stuff that we needed to comply with include an arrest warrant that should have been issued in South Africa. It also includes that they need to have been named in an indictment or a charge sheet before a court of law in South Africa. And in the 25 million rand feasibility study case where Milani Investment got the contract in 2011 from the Free State Department, the Gupta brothers, AJ Gupta, is seen to have benefited through a company called Gateway Limited, which got 19 million, where it then funneled those or siphoned out those funds to island site, which was saying, which another court then granted the restraint order for. So we're saying that money flow, following the money, shows us that Atul Gupta, Rajesh Gupta, and the wives of either of the brother as directorship of that particular company should in any event account.
Yeah. Another question is, so you followed the money and you found this case. I understand it's worth about 25 million that was diverted. It isn't even the dairy farm scandal that many people know about. It's a preceding scam. At the State Capture Commission, it's been claimed the Guptas took billions, up to 50 billion. So will this get bigger? Why such a small case that's all we've got?
So that isn't all we got. For starters, that small case, relatively in the scale of what we've heard at the State Capture Commission, is the opening precursor of what we then, that allowed us to be able to go to the Bloemfontein High Court and say, we need a restraint order of Islandsight, a company that at a time had an unexplained amount of 500 million coming in and out from various departments, more particularly the Free State Department. We then also found that other amounts were then put into that particular account. So that small case opened up to the unlimited restraint order we got. So what we've also heard from our external parties and the UAE in particular is that we cannot bring people to South Africa who you suspect could have done something, who you've heard at the commission have done something. We can only assist or listen or order you or give you a seat at the table if you have charged these people. So now we are then able to sit at the table with the UAE and say, through the Department of Justice, of course, and the various other people within the chain, to say, these are the charges, can they please come back? And then it's for them to decide if they want them to come back into South Africa or not. Yeah.
So maybe that answers the question, but let's just wrap it up with this. That many understood there was an original extradition request to the UAE. So is that why it hasn't moved? Because there needed to be a case, where is that matter? Because again, so now you go to Interpol, maybe the Guptas could be arrested, but if they're in the UAE and they haven't been extradited yet, what are the chances that they will be arrested and then extradited?
To clarify 2 points, the Interpol application is underway. We are busy with the application to Interpol. So that's a process on its own. But in terms of a prior extradition request, as the investigating directorate, that was not done. The extradition request is in particular to this feasibility study case that we have brought before court. It's currently before the Bloemfontein Magistrates Court. Bail will be heard of Iqbal Shamar on Monday. The Guptas, we are also requesting to come back and account on that matter. So we are saying this is our request. This is how the process is starting. We are building we're fulfilling each and every criteria as required for this particular case. So we do not want it to be confused as to whether there were other cases. This is the case that we are applying on.
Okay, and the UAE has not said no yet. Very quickly.
The process is underway.
All right, thank you very much. NPA, National Prosecuting Authority spokesperson Sindisiwe Seboka.